Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon again. And welcome to another Faith and Healing broadcast and presentation. As always, sharing with you the things that we believe can help you to improve your quality of health and be able to experience optimal health in your overall self. God always asks the question, Christ, when he ministered, would you like to be made whole mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? That is his desire for us, and that is my desire for you, that you would prosper and be in the very best of health. Hence the reason for faith and healing, prospering physically and prospering spiritually. I also hope that you have had time to pick up the newest copy of our recently released title, Faith and Healing, now available on Amazon.com and where books are sold globally online. This way you get to have in your possession many of the great and exciting topics that we have shared here on the broadcast presentation. So we want to give God thanks for what he is doing, and I look forward to potentially doing a sequel on that title, because there is just so much that you could share on the topic of health and healing. And so the dialogue is never over. But go ahead and grab one of those copies, Faith and Healing, on Amazon.com and wherever else online books are available, so that you can have the broadcast with you all the time, and you can go up and cook up some of the great desserts and recipes that was featured in that title. So we want to thank you again always for your support on the ministry journey. Such an incredible experience to be able to serve God in this variety of ways and to share the gospel, because that is what it is about. Well, today we are sharing in another one of our exciting topics. We are looking at nuts and grains, and there are so many options for nuts and grains that a person can incorporate in their diet. It is often sensed that nuts and grains are for the healthy. Okay, it's not for everyone. It's just for the people who are like really crazed about health, and they're all just into like really health stuff. Nuts and grains is for everyone. Okay, we just want to clarify that it's for you, it's for me. And once again, it is about making sure that we are eating to live. Okay, food is great. I've said it time and time again, because we serve a good God, and he wants us to really enjoy this journey. Imagine a life just totally just filled with not so good things. So we have to remember the abundant part of the journey as well. So does God want us to have pleasures? Yes. Psalm 16:11. In the presence of God is fullness of joy, and at his right hand there are pleasures forevermore. The only thing is, we must never pursue ungodly pleasures. But there are godly pleasures, and those are the ones that they bless our lives. They enhance our lives. They are not there to hurt it. Okay? The word tells us that the blessings of God, it makes a person rich, and it does not add any sorrow to it. So in other words, if God gives you a pleasure, it should not destroy your life. It shouldn't destroy mine. It should make us rich, whatever it is. Whatever the pleasure is, it is there to make our lives better. So if there's a pleasure that we are indulging that is hurting our lives, then God didn't give that to us, all right? And so even with eating and drinking, the word said, go ahead, eat, drink, but whatever you and I are doing, just do it to the glory of God. I mean, I feel like this is fair. Okay, it's fear. Enjoy your food. Enjoy this life. Okay, John 10:10. I have come that you may have life and enjoy it in abundance. Laugh, have fun. But whatever you're doing, though, don't leave God out of it. And that's what faith and healing is about. Prospering in all areas, never at the expense of our soul salvation. I think it's such a fair thing. It's just fair. I think it's very fair. So we are here to encourage you to incorporate nuts and grains in your diet. Why? Because we cannot desire great and good health and not work towards it. It doesn't come by osmosis. It cannot come by wishful thinking. So we have to incorporate that. So we want to look at some of the great benefits that we are able to find by, using nuts and grains. And we are finding that they tend to be very loaded with antioxidants. And you know that that is very significant to overall good health. Having a diet that is filled with antioxidants. It is antioxidants that destroys free radicals in the body, that often leads to all this damage to our cells, that leads to cancers and other not so great things that could be not only debilitating and detrimental, but that could also be fatal. And we know that the word has told us in Psalm 91 that God's desire is that we would be satisfied with long life and that he would show us his salvation. So that is a blessing to know that that is there for us. Now, the question is, what are we doing to work towards that? How are we taking care of ourselves? How are we feeding the cells? How are we treating the body? And if we're eating and drinking, are we eating to live or are we eating to die? And that's the key question we must always ask ourselves. And as one who appreciates great food, how many times have I told you this? I appreciate and love great food. Okay? But on that journey, balance, temperance, and making sure you're eating to live. You're eating to live, okay? You're not eating to die. We always have to remember this. Whenever we put anything in our mouths, are you eating to live? Are you eating to die? So foods loaded with antioxidants, nuts and grains. Why is that significant? Because antioxidants are loaded. They have that ability to destroy those free radicals that tends to do significant damage to cell life, and cell life is life. So it's a win-win kind of situation, okay? It also aids with weight loss. So for anyone, and we recently talked about weight loss and metabolic health on the recent broadcast. If you are battling the matters of weight loss, if you are struggling to be able to keep your weight in balance, it may be wise to incorporate nuts and grains into your diet. How about lowering cholesterol? Even people who are thin and people who are skinny, because usually we think of cholesterol as people who are probably, battling matters of being overweight or the issues of obesity, and probably feeling like, oh, these are the people who have cholesterol issues. But that is not correct. Cholesterol could happen to anybody, depending on what we are taking into the body. How high is the fat intake? How high is the unhealthy oil and butter intakes. What kind of butters are we using? What kind of consumptions are we using that is, affecting the body's ability to maintain healthy cholesterol levels? Well, nuts and grains are a great way if you are battling, negative cholesterol, the bad cholesterol. Then you can incorporate nuts and grains on an ongoing basis into the diet. And always remember, you can't do that one day and expect results. You have to do that ongoingly, constantly. You have to be incorporating that in order to see results. Generally, when you are doing anything on the natural side, you're looking at least 30 to 90 days to be able to get results. So don't just eat a handful of grapes for 2 days and say, this is not working. No, you have to be consistent. Again, on the natural side, you're looking at least 30 to 90 days to begin to see any kind of reversal or alteration in any medical challenge that you may be facing. So let us not forget how significant the incorporation of nuts and grains into the diet is for cholesterol balancing and cholesterol health. And you and I know that cholesterol health is very significant, because if there's bad cholesterol in the body, that means the arteries are building up plaque. That means they're getting very hard. That means the blood is not able to flow to the heart. That's how you come down with things like strokes and heart attacks. And we are not wanting to have, those issues plaguing us or families. And so being able to incorporate healthy portions of nuts and grains on an ongoing basis has the ability to reduce those things. Well, amazingly, nuts and grains are also very helpful to the balancing of glucose levels in the blood, which helps with type 2 diabetes. It is very ironic because, we know that there are so many people who are battling, the matters of diabetic issues that has significantly affected their overall health. And to know that there are things that you and I can do that could actually turn around the outcome of such a debilitating disease that has such negative impact on the body's organs, like its kidneys and other areas. So just to know that we could actually incorporate this food, nuts and grains, into the diet, and that would assist in bringing a level of help, to the body. It's breaking news. Okay. In the event that this was not something you were aware of, it's breaking news. And the reason for that is because it definitely aids in the more complex treatments that you may have to undergo in dealing with and balancing this very intricate disease of type 2 diabetes. So I would say, if you are suffering from diabetes in any way, why don't you make it a practice to incorporate this nuts and grains into the diet? How about reducing inflammation, right? We know that inflammatory negative inflammatory deposits into the body, it affects so many things, the immune system. Many people who are battling various forms of arthrital issues are as a result of inflammation. And so if you have any kind of disease that is ascites, arthritis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, whatever it is, you want to be able to incorporate nuts and grains as an ongoing part of your diet, because you would be doing such a great service to your body, to your system, and to, help to keep that disease and illness in check. You and I both know, if those things become debilitating, they often lead to more life limitations, affects mobility, and many of the things that you once enjoyed or loved that you may not be able to do because it has such negative effects on the joints, on the bones. So inflammatory health is very important. You do not want inflammation to be building up in the system, and that is something that is common to the body. Many people, many of us, have had inflammatory issues of one way or the other. And so as I speak to you, I am always reminding my own self that this is something we need to do. So in addition to the inflammatory health, let us also remember that it is also high in fiber. So if you are battling issues with constipation, not being able to go to the bathroom on a regular basis, you have regularity issues. Of course, water is very significant. We'll be doing, again, waters on other broadcasts, but you want to incorporate a significant amount of water into the body so that it keeps the gut, the intestine well flushed. And then you want to incorporate high fiber foods, a body that is high in fiber, a gut that is high in fiber will, have success with regularity. And we should know that not having, regularity in a bowel movement has significant medical challenges, particularly things like poison in the system, because it is very significant. We were designed for the body to eliminate waste. And so if that is not happening, that is definitely a huge problem. So these are some of the things and the benefits that we get overall from nuts and overall grains. Well, we are looking at some of those nuts and grains today. Your choice, okay? But today we're featuring walnuts, we have almonds, we have some sunflower seeds as well. And again, seeds, nuts, grains, all within that same family. Almonds, great in fiber, protein, fat content. If you're also looking to increase vitamin E, magnesium, manganese, all very great benefits to the body. Walnuts aids with reducing cancer, great for blood pressure balancing, also high in fiber. So the more I think about it, it is just incredible when you think about the awesomeness of the God that you and I serve. He actually created our foods in a way that actually feeds us, minister to our taste buds, and heals our bodies all at the same time. It is something to think about, right? So let us go ahead and look at some of the ways that we can appreciate nuts, grains, seeds. And as you know, one of the things that I do here with you on the presentation is not just tell you, about those things, but also to encourage you on how to do them by creating some recipes. So one of the first recipes we're going to do today, how to appreciate your nuts in salads. And I have some walnuts here, and I soaked the walnuts. And the reason why I soaked it is because and they tend to be large. Walnuts tend to be large. So you can cut the walnuts. Okay, you see I have my little knife here. Or if you do not want to, if you have time, okay, you can cut. If you do not have time, just use your hands and just break it up and just drop it in your salad. So you can also soak the walnuts a bit. Just wash it, and you will notice that once it becomes soft by the soaking, not for too long, only a few minutes, what you will notice is there is an oiliness to the walnut, which is letting you know that it has a natural, healthy oil that is beneficial to the body. So many people, since they do not like having nuts just by taking a thing of nuts and just starting to eat it. What you can do is when you prepare your salads, okay, since salads tend to be bland and needs to be dressed up in order for them to taste awesome, okay? And I tell you all the time, life is how you make it, okay? So if you want it to taste good, then you make it good. So what we do is you just take so there we have it. And there you go. You take your walnuts. So we have a lettuce and cucumber salad that is filled with some walnuts, okay? And this is the just raw walnuts in the seed, and you just drop it in there. And what I did also, I just took some apples. You can do a pear, the fruit pear. You can do an avocado, and you can cut it up in very little slices, okay, or little squares, and you drop it in the salad, because once again, many people do not like salads. And what you're trying to do is create a salad that is exciting, all right, because variety is the spice of life. So you want to have a little, rather than just sit there miserably with a bowl of leaves, you can dress it up. So, and then you add your favorite, dressing, and you create a salad that is laced with nuts. You could put walnuts. You could put some sunflower seeds. I have a little of that there that we're going to use very shortly. So these are sunflower seeds. And you can just put a bit of that. And then with your favorite dressing, you would have transformed your salad. But what you would have also done is incorporated nuts into your diet by adding it to your salad and turning your bland salad into a very nice salad. And then you can dress that up with some lemon juice, a little honey. You can add a little cayenne pepper to spice it up. You can squeeze 2 cloves of garlic, and you can create your own salad dressing and bring a bit of flavor, but again, great health into your salad. Now we have oatmeal, okay? So again, many people are not into warm cereals. That's okay. I'm from an island. We like warm cereal. I love warm cereal. I love oatmeal. And so you can take a bowl of oatmeal. You can use that for the morning breakfast. And in this case, what I did was I blended the walnuts. And you can add the sunflower seeds to that. You can add some almonds to that. You can add some pumpkin seeds to that. And what you do is you simply put it in the blender and you blend it, and it comes out into a powder, okay? So for the salad, we had the raw nuts. For the cereal, we are now using the blended nuts, and we have more of a powder form, and the walnuts just feel so nice and soft and oily. And what you do is, again, you just drop a handful of that on your salad, because what you're really doing is making it possible for you to enjoy something that seems like it's coming a little harder to you. It's not coming natural. So you're making it enjoyable. And you know me, I do like raw honey. So I'm putting a little bit of that, but you don't have to do honey. You can do some raisins, or you can cut up some dates and you can drop it on your cereal. You can either mix it in, or you can just let it sit on the top like you see here and just scoop it up with your cereal. And whereby before this was just a regular plain old oatmeal, you've just added nuts into your cereal by blending a combination of nuts, getting that powder, just spreading it over and eating it, and it tastes good, okay? So that's another way that you can enjoy your nuts. Another option of nuts eating that we have, this is almonds. So usually you can make almond milk. That's what many people do. But did you know that you can also make almond cereal? Yes. So you soak your almond, a cup, okay, depending on your family size, a cup of almonds with a cup and a half of water. in a bowl and you let it soak. You can do that overnight. You can rest it in the refrigerator. Then you wake up in the morning, you put it in the blender and you blend the almond, but you don't strain it out to get the milk. You just let it sit. So this is just the almond. It made its own milk. All right. And it has the nice little grits that feels like cream of wheat if you are an island person. And if you notice here, okay, this is the almond nuts. This by itself, this is actually a bowl of cereal. And the great thing about this is you can have it warm, a little warm, not too warm, but you could also have it cold. It's your choice. And I really, really love this. And so I have cinnamon powder here. Again, great for glucose health. But once again, watch that with your medication. Space them out. Do not take a lowering blood sugar, nutrient, and then take your medicine that is lowering sugar. So always be very wise when you are doing natural things if you are on medication for any illnesses. Always give yourself at least 2 hours or so between those things so that they each do their work. So I'm adding a little cinnamon to the almond, and you know me, I am gonna add my honey, or you can add raisin, or you can add dates. You cut it up very thin, cut it up very small, and you mix this about and love it. So this is your blended almond. Imagine that. And all you did, this is great. You now found a way to not only drink your almond, but to eat your nuts, since you didn't want to just grab a bunch. The final thing we're going to try on our presentation today, you can also use your nuts in a smoothie. And I have some almond milk that I'm going to pour in here in our blender. And I'm just going to bring my blender a little forward so you can take a look. We're going to add a little milk. Then you add about a half a cup of oatmeal. Okay, the quick oats. For cereal, you can do old fashioned. For this, you can do the quick oats. And you add a bit of this into your blender. Banana, you can't go wrong with banana. Many great and health benefits. So you can do the whole banana or you can do the half banana. It depends on how much you want to taste it. I'm going to do the whole banana because I love bananas. So you add this. Once again, you are creating your own thing. So we're going to add a little cinnamon. Just a little. Now, always remember with the presentations, you're not doing all of this on the same day. So if you're going, well, she just used cinnamon in this and she just used cinnamon in that. These are just different demonstrations that you're doing at different days, okay? So always remember that. So we're not doing all of this on the same day. And of course, you're going to add a little honey so that you get that bit of a sweetness if you are looking for that. Your banana is already sweet, so if you are satisfied with that much sweetness, it is okay. And we are going to simply well, we have a nicely made smoothie. Wow, you saw that being poured out. Excellent stuff. Amazing. Amazing. I love it. Well, there you have it, my friends. Yes, it is true. Nuts and grains are just nuts and grains. And on their own, probably not a whole lot of fun. But what if you became creative and you began to transform and use your creative power that God gave you? And you did an oatmeal and an almond salad and the lettuce and cucumber salad, and you added your nuts, whether you blended it or you dropped it in. What if you created a smoothie and added your nuts? You can also add your sunflower seeds to your smoothie, or your pumpkin seeds, or your almond. It's up to you. Okay, it's up to you as to what you want to add. So we can also add here, a bit of the pumpkin seed, and you just add whatever amount of, or some walnuts, seeds, whether it is grated or raw, and you add this into your blender, and you create your own beautiful experience with your seeds. Well, as always, it's really about better living. And God wants us to prosper in all areas of life, physically and spiritually. So don't miss an opportunity to do that. Well, I hope you were blessed by today's presentation. And until next time on Faith and Healing, well, keep the faith.